Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and today we're going over the May 2026 Zoom competitions hosted by speedpuzzling.com. And once again, I am doing 4 of these competitions a month, and I just kind of want to talk about a couple things with them. The good and the bad, but mostly kind of how I've been feeling ever since Nationals, and kind of how it's impacted my Zoom competition. So first things first, I will also be discussing the new release puzzle here, and this one is called On Second Thought, Please Mute Yourselves. And it is by Robin DeCari, that is the artist, and it is a very cute special puzzle from Boardwalk, and it's a custom-made puzzle. I believe they kind of do what Puzzle U and Ravensburger does, where you submit an art piece or a photo or something, and they can create a puzzle for you. So speedpuzzling.com is now kind of creating their own type of style of puzzles, which I think is kind of fun. And so I think it's kind of a good thing to do in between the Speedmasters new release batches. And so this one is of basically a Zoom speed puzzling contest, depicting different animals putting a puzzle together, with Jonathan, who is represented by the cheetah. I think it's cheetah. That's his little mascot, basically. And he has the timer going. And so there's all different sorts of animals. There's a cat blocking this competitor's camera. So there's all sorts of cute little details on this that, as I was doing the puzzle, it was so much fun. And, I really am enjoying the new releases because basically no one's done this puzzle before, and it's the first attempt for everybody. And so it's kind of the best even playing field you can get. While the other Zoom competitions, it's possible that someone's done it before and they might have an edge on against everybody else. So that's kind of why I'm doing the new release, because it's a new release, no one's seen it, no one's done it, and I figured that it would be the good one to share with y'all. But I have, on my last April 2026 Zoom competition video, I did kind of show you the other 3 competitions, and I kind of liked that. I figured that maybe y'all would like to have a verbal update on how I'm doing on the other competitions. They'll still be posted as shorts, but I do want to go over my results with y'all, because I think they're kind of important as an overall picture of how my speed puzzling practice and competitions are going. So again, my goals for a 500-piece puzzle like this is to stay under the hour for my general and under 52 minutes for my pieces per minute goal. But I definitely am going to be updating these goals pretty soon, because I simply think that I'm at that competition level where I think the 52 minutes is too high for me. I need to be going lower, and I'm about getting close to that 6-month mark of my average just sort of leveling out. And so I will update my pieces per minute goal for where my average lands kind of at the end of June. But for the time being, that's where my average was in 2025, and I'm going to stick with it until I get my 6-month average. So, on second thought, please mute yourselves. Let's smash it. Well, I am happy to tell you that I have now done a second puzzle on my first attempt under 40 minutes. This was On Second Thought, Please Mute Yourselves by Boardwalk, specialized puzzle from speedpuzzling.com. The artist is Robin DeCare, and I think she's also one of the speed puzzling competitors. She is one of the artists that I think people just kind of pop up and say, hey, I have an idea for a puzzle, and Jonathan kind of goes with it. And I think it's quite nice to see that. Maybe I might get back into art and maybe try to draw something, but it's been a long time since I've been drawing, so I'm not sure if I should even attempt that at the moment. But yes, I finished this puzzle in 37 minutes and 37 seconds. Technically my fastest 500-piece puzzle on my first attempt to date. So I am super thrilled with that time. It was my personal best at this point. So yeah, and as you can see, puzzle, well, I thought it would do a pickup test. It's not doing a pickup test. But it is super cute. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with this time. Now, did it get me first place? No, unfortunately not. In fact, I got 18th place out of 270. And you're thinking 18th place with 37 minutes? That should be... That's very odd. How fast was everybody else? There was quite a few people under 35 minutes, and there was one person, first place, Boy Wonder from Houston, who was under 30. And I think something has started to kind of start to bother me ever since Nationals. As if you don't know, I did get 7th place in the US Nationals, and I kind of was over the moon on that. I was pretty much on a high, and then I did the April contest, and now I'm doing the May contest, and my place has been... I've been very disappointed in where I've been placing, basically. And I think that's coming from the fact that I was on such a high from Nationals, and I did so well there, that coming back to the Zoom contests and placing lower than I would like to is a little bit of a... just... how do I say this? It was starting to frustrate me. The frustration is starting to build, and I think I need to kind of take a step back and be like, look, there's some things I maybe need to tweak. There's things I'm very good at, and there's things I need to work on. I need to maybe not see it as I'm a failure. I need to see it as more of I can improve on these aspects, learn new strategies, and try different things. And so I kind of went over last month with the Peacock disaster, and I think that large frustration that I had with that puzzle came from the fact that I had just done so well in Nationals, and I figured that it would continue, and it didn't. I kind of fell back a few places, and I've not been doing as well as I would like. I've kind of fallen back into where I kind of consider myself the worst of the best, and I wasn't the worst of the best in Nationals. So this month I decided to maybe try a few different tactics. I did do the first 3 Zoom competitions with the same type of mentality, and then I did something different with this one. And I think my time reflects that. Does my place reflect it? Not really, because I think everybody else just went faster on this puzzle like I did. But I think that the fact that I finally hit another under 40 time is telling me that maybe changing certain things or tweaking certain strategies is something I need to look into, instead of just simply trying to do the same thing over and over again. But enough of that rant, I guess, a little bit. I'll let you know how I do on the rest of the contest. So the first contest I did was the challenge puzzle, and unlike Peacock from April, this one wasn't as bad. And it's an art and fable puzzle, which I really love these puzzles. I just wish they would fix the false fit issue with it. Otherwise, these puzzles are beautiful, they feel wonderful, they have a velvety feel to them, and so I'm definitely collecting these guys as I get them. And this one is called Spanish Fans by Daniela Ouellet Rabin, and I think this is a Spanish version of it. Abaniosos? I probably just butchered that. I apologize. Abaniosos? No, I'm saying it very wrong. No. I'll just go with Spanish Fans. That's probably the right way for me to do it. And I did this in 56 minutes and 39 seconds, which got me 17th place out of 61 people. And you know what? That was an improvement from 23rd on the last month. But it wasn't where I'd like to be. I'll be honest with you. I was getting into the top 10 on the challenge puzzle, and I've kind of fallen back a little bit. But it was under the hour, which was great for the challenge puzzle. And I do think the false fits on this one tripped me up a little bit, but it is very pretty, and I think I might have learned a few things with it. Number one, I thought I was really good at circles and sort of a fan type thing, but if it's very similar, like similar duplicate patterns, I tend to slow down because I'm not exactly sure where it goes in the puzzle. So I've kind of recognized that fact. And two, maybe for this one I should have done the border first. And the reason I think that is kind of size containment, because this puzzle was a lot smaller than I was expecting it to be. So Christina also did this one, and we had each other on the Zoom computers, you know, kind of racing each other basically. And she did a full sort on this puzzle. And she did this in 38 minutes, which got her first place. So yeah, it was, I don't know, I kind of texted her after the fact and said, your times between your Zoom times and your in-person competitions need to be studied, because she is so much faster on Zoom versus her in-person. And I know that she tells me it's due to nerves and things of that nature, but I think it's space. Her time to shine is space. If she can spread out the pieces and manipulate where the pieces need to go, she's golden. But when you're in a competition, your space is a bit more limited because of the table that you're on. So I think that she showed me her time lapse, and she did a full-on sort. So I think for the first 10 minutes, she didn't even have pieces together. And so it is a strategy that I've used a couple times before, not many, and it does work if you can make sure that your sorting is fast and you were pretty much a good sort to begin with. If you misplace pieces, or you know your sorting is too slow, like it takes you 20 minutes to sort a whole 500-piece puzzle, your speed has to now catch up basically within 20 minutes. But Christina has proven she almost is getting under 30 minutes based on this tactic when she does her Zoom competitions. So I may be looking at doing a full sort at the beginning. The problem is, I'm not that fast of a sorter. Now, I need to maybe look into improving that to see what I can do. So that's a tactic now I've kind of decided to put into my arsenal and see what maybe a good puzzle that strategy could be utilized for. So that was Spanish Fans. I actually really did enjoy this puzzle, except for the false hits, but, you know, I did better with the challenge puzzle, so can't really complain about that. The second Zoom competition was the 300-piece puzzle, and this is a Eurographics puzzle. This one is called the Blue Country House, and it was actually surprisingly difficult, mostly due to space. The pieces were rather large, and a few of the areas were darker, and surprisingly, the sky and the trees up here tripped me up just a tad. So I was a bit slower on this one than I normally was, and I completed it in 25 minutes and 44 seconds, which got me 10th place out of 193. So I've fallen back a few places. I was in 6th, or tied for 6th in the last month's competitions. But I think this puzzle I didn't have a very good start, in my opinion, and I think I just had a spacing issue. So this one was just a little bit of a challenge. And I think the fastest time was Boy Wonder from Houston. He did it in just over 18 minutes, I believe. So even he was a little bit slower than normal. I think he usually in the 16 or 17 minute. But, you know, again, I can't really complain. I'm in the top 10, but I fell back a few spaces. So I've again noticed my frustration a little bit starting to build on my placement. But let's continue to the next one, which this one is called Children's Fairyland by Oakland Puzzle Company. And it is so cute. I'm debating whether to keep this one or not. Or joined here by Miss Buns. And this one, I should have been faster. I really should have. It was such an easy block type of puzzle. And this might have been a good one also to do some sorting, or at least a full sort, and then just doing the puzzle rather quickly. But I did actually sort the whale here. I did kind of sort the cloud with the Children's Fairyland title on it. And surprisingly, that did not trip me up the text. It was small enough to where it wasn't such an issue. And, you know, this one I should have just been faster. I think I simply was all over the place. I sorted out the border, I sorted out the whale, and then I started other sections. I didn't do the border till about halfway through. I kind of did the whale at the beginning, and then I just kind of was all over the place. So one of the things I'm probably needing to really hone in on is the few strategies that work for me, that work for maybe different types of puzzles, and sticking with it. I am all over the place. I'm scatterbrained. I I know I am like squirrel with a nut. I just go to different sections of the puzzle and don't stay focused. My speed is there, it's just very disorganized, and that's cost me probably upwards of 5 to 6 minutes in places. And if I can just hone that in a little bit, I think I will get regularly under 40 minutes on 500-piece puzzles. And I can maybe start even getting under 20 minutes for 300-piece puzzles. So, this one should have been a full sort maybe, and then just get it done. But I did this in 42 minutes and 40 seconds. And I got 14th place out of 171. Not bad, but I was in 10th place last time. I did fall down a few places. And now we come to the fourth and final Zoom competition of the month, where this was the new release puzzle that no one has done before. And like I said, I did this in 37 minutes and 37 seconds, but I only got 18th place. So what does this tell me? One, was Nationals a fluke? And I say that as no. I do think people do better in the privacy of their own homes, without the competition stress, and without the social anxiety that a lot of people get. I talked to a lot of competitors at Nationals, and they all kind of say the same thing, how nervous they were in competition. But I tend to thrive in that environment. I do a lot better in it than I do at home, and that energizes me, and that's why I do better in person. If I were to choose which one to be better at, Zoom or in person, I would stick with the in-person competitions, because those are Nationals, those are Worlds, World Series. All the big competitions are not by Zoom. However, I do think that if I can improve my Zoom competitions, they will also improve my in-person competitions. So they are connected, and therefore I really need to kind of work on it. And I can also see Zoom competitions being a good way for me to strategize, try different things, and ultimately, compare myself to some of the top puzzlers. Not all the top puzzlers do the Zoom competitions. It's a good way for me to kind of gauge the competition. And so, I think that maybe instead of sticking to top 10 or trying to get to third and up or getting first place, those are still good goals. But I think I've kind of put myself in a bit of a box doing that. And so I think I want to change some strategies on my Zoom competitions moving forward, because I think I've gotten too frustrated with trying to get a certain place, because the puzzles are all different. Different people are competing. Some, Christina doesn't do all 4 competitions. By the way, she did this puzzle in 32 minutes, and she got second behind Boy Wonder, who got it under 30 minutes. And so, and that too, I'm comparing myself to Christina, I'm comparing myself to Boy Wonder, and it's like, I feel like I'm just failing. And that's a big no-no when you're trying to improve yourself. Do I need to look at other competitors' times? Yes, but it shouldn't be the end-all be-all, basically. I need to be working on beating myself, and I did with this time with 37 minutes, my best time to date. And I think if I continue to just beat myself, I'll start beating everybody else. I'm in that arena, I'm in that area, and it's just going to have to be something I have to accept. It will change in every competition with every different puzzle. And I think what I want to do moving forward is do different types of strategies based on the puzzle that's in front of me. Now, I have about a split-second decision of what strategy I should do, because I'll only see the puzzle for a brief moment before I have to make a decision. But I do think that ultimately, I think this will help me keep my speed in check, hone it to where it needs to go, and, I hope that I can maybe start competing in the world's level, basically. I need to probably start doing a few more European jigsaw jams and seeing how my times compare to the people in Europe, because there's a lot of heavy hitters over there. And so, while I do think comparing myself to other people is still important, I need to really sort of internalize things for myself and work on things that work for me. And, obviously learn from other people. Christina showed me her time lapses and I was able to look at them. She's doing under 35 minutes. That's a good thing to look at. And maybe it won't work for me. A full sort might be a poor decision for me. But I have to figure out where my strengths are, work on my weaknesses. But ultimately, I think I need about 5 to 6 strategies for different types of puzzles. And if I think I can hone in on that, my times will overall get better. And they will naturally get better than everybody else's, hopefully. Everybody else is getting better too. Everybody else is learning from each other. Everybody else is practicing. So it's not a simple, I'm just going to go down below everybody and everybody else is going to stay where they are. Everybody's moving. Everybody's getting faster. The arena is getting better. And in order for me to keep up with it, I have to change strategies. I don't like flipping all the pieces at the beginning, but I've learned it's actually helped me. So I will continue to do it. Force myself to do it. I know I spoke a lot about changing strategies and everything. And one of the strategies I did for this puzzle specifically that I didn't do for those three, I was standing most of the time. I've been sitting on the couch initially for the competitions. I decided to change tactics, turn my board sideways, sitting on a metal chair, so it felt like I was in more of an in-person environment. But I stood up for this one at least most of the time. My back was eventually telling me to sit down a few times, which happens in person as well. And I think that might have been what helped me. I think standing kind of kicked in a little bit of adrenaline for me. And so I think that I kind of mimicked a little bit of the in-person competition. So that strategy now might be implemented on a couple puzzles or maybe all of them. I'll see how I do. I might have to experiment. So I'm going to maybe ditch the place goals. I'll still want to try to win a competition. I'll still want to do the best I can. But I need to stop harping on the place. That's kind of where I'm at now. And I think that if I continue to improve time-wise, learn different strategies, I think from whatever gets thrown at me in in-person competitions, I'll be ready for. And I'll be ready for Zoom competitions as well. So those are my plans for competitions moving forward. And they'll also be implemented on the puzzles I do outside of competitions. Now, I got a few puzzles in the queue here that might be rather difficult. So we'll have to see how I do with that. One last thing. I did ask Christina, what animal are we in this little grid here? And she said she's the giraffe because of her posture. I say I was the chameleon because I look grumpy. And I've been kind of grumpy the last couple months. But I think the ultimate one I'd like to be is Mr. Octopus with all his pieces and his hands and be like, you know what, I'm going here, 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 and I'm just super efficient. I have 8 arms and I can do it all. That's where I'd like to be. But I gotta stop being Mr. Chameleon, all grumpy and blending in with the puzzle, basically. So, as for on second thought, please mute yourself. We definitely smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.